Alrighty guys, where I left you off on part 1, you actually did these 3 rows and you got right up to here. And I said do 2 rows cream, 10 rows blue, 2 cream, 10 blue and 2 cream. Alright, so if you haven't done that and yours doesn't look the same, then complete that now. From here, what we have now is we're on our final row of the cream, and I didn't complete it because I want to show you what we're going to do here. We're going to do like normal. Everything is going to be the same. I think I've got one more stitch left there first. And then you're going to just pull your loop through like normal. Now remember, if you're not changing colours, just, make your half double and chain 1. All right. So drop your cream, pick up your blue, or whatever colour you're using, and then just pull it through. Don't pull so tight. Chain 1 like normal, turn like normal. All right, so what I want you to do here is simply the same thing we've been doing all along. Just start one more row of the blue, like so, and just complete 1 row of the blue. All right, only because we need 1 more row to get to the area we need to get to before we need to do our next step. All right, so complete 1 more row of blue all the way, get all the way to the very last stitch right there. Meet me there once you're complete and we'll talk about what we're going to do next. Alrighty guys, here we are at the end of the row. Get excited guys, get way too excited. Where we're going to go now simply is, we'll go into the very last stitch. Oh, that's too close, sorry, I'm trying to make it easier for you. We'll go into the very last stitch like normal, do a normal half double and chain your 1 like normal. Actually, probably don't chain your 1 because we're going to do another half double in there. All right, so we're probably going to do another half double in there. So just do the chain like normal for now because we're going to pop a little stitch marker here just for a minute so I can show you what to do. And your job now is to flip your work and go to the base of your work. Let me move my yarn out the way so you can see. Now, as you should all know, we would all have 85 stitches across this way. All right, so your job now is to pop a stitch marker on your 43rd stitch. So we want to halve it, right? We can't half 85, we can half 84, which is 42. So pop a stitch marker on the next stitch over, which is 43. And then what I want you to do is grab a stitch marker. Let's get it close up so you can see. Once you've done the stitch marker there, do it on the second one on each side of your stitch. All right, so you've got your 3 stitch markers attached at the base of your work, right? All right, so now what I want you to do, go back to where we were. All right, go back to where we were as though we hadn't done anything different, yeah? So we're going to take that chain undone, okay? So what you did here was, you've got your 1. We're going to pop a second one in there. And then I want you to pop your stitch marker in that stitch right there, if you can get it in, like that, and pop in a 3rd half double right there. All right, so what you've done is you've filled up the blue and now you've filled up part of the white. Okay, the first, well, I should say the last row of the white. Ignore this stitch here, but go into that one right there with a half double crochet without splitting the yarn like I just did. Half double crochet. And then you're going to pop another one here. Now you can either pop it in the actual space, or if you like, you can pop it between the 2 loops right there. If you like, it's entirely up to you. I'm going to leave it like that. Okay, then what we're going to do in this case, we are going to do, there's 2 rows of blue here, so 1 and 2, all right? So it's like this, go into the blue with 1, and then go into the second row with 2 half double crochets. Now you can pop it in the first space and into the second space right there. Okay, and again you're doing the same. This is 2 rows again. You're going to pop 1 in there and 2 into the next. So it's 1 and 2. And you can see, I'll give you a nice close-up as to where I'm putting it. There's your first little stitch, which is part of the first ridge, if you want to call it that. 1 there. And then you've got like 2 spaces here. 1 there and 1 before the ridge. All right. And then you're doing 1 into the next. Again, 2 into your next. Now I'm hoping this is all making sense. You don't want to put 2 into each section because it will be too wide and come out like that. We want it to be nice and straight. So 1 into the first stitch, 2 into your next. 1 and 2. And then 1 into the ridge of the white, and then 1 into there, that section there, and then 1 into the space of the white. There's that little ridge I'm talking about. You do 1 into the ridge, then you do 1 into a big space that you see there, and 1 into that little, and you can see the split of the yarn right there. That's your, do that again. That was your 1 and then your 2. Then you go back to the ridge doing 1, and now you've got 1 and 2. So 1 into the first space you see, 1 into your second space you see, and then 1 into your ridge. All right, so you may find that some of the spaces look a little different. That's okay. Might be that you've stretched a little bit. 1 and then 2 across here. Like this one's here really tight, this one. I don't know why. 2 and then 1 into the ridge. All right, so I'm not going to let you sit here and watch me do, oh, I'm close to finishing. Let's finish it off, eh? she got crochet happy. Yeah, so let's just finish it off. Yeah, just ignore, I've got some tails here, just ignore them. I'm going to leave them at the back for now. They're going to be passed through here because this is the wrong side of our work. Don't worry about that for now. We'll talk about that later. Okay, so I'm going to do my next 2 stitches across here. So there's 1 and there's my second one. I'm just going to pass that first tail at the back. And now I've got to do 1 into the ridge. Make sure the tails are all at the back now, yep. Without splitting the yarn. And then 1 across here. I'm sorry, 2 across here. 1 into my next stitch, 1 into my next stitch, right there, a little bit tight for me. And then 1 into the ridge of the white, and 2 across the white, remember? 1 and 2, and then 1 into the ridge of the blue, and then your 2 are going to go into this corner. All right, so what you want to do is find your corner stitch right there, and you can actually see it. See the little V's? Now, for those of you who didn't do your chains earlier and your half double crochets in the back bumps, you will not have this look. Okay, that's the look we're going for when we work into the back bumps after the chains. All right, so that's the look we go for. So all you need to do, you might just have 1 loop, just pop it through the loop. Okay, if you've got the 2 loops, that's great. Go into that first stitch doing a half double crochet 1, half double crochet 2, pop a stitch marker in there like that, and a half double crochet 3, all in the same stitch. Now we're going to go across each stitch. Now turn your work to the side and see your little V's, or see your loops that you need to go into. So that's 1, yeah, and then you've got your next one. Mine are a little tight, hopefully yours are not as tight as mine. So what I want you to do is do your half double crochets all the way across. Get to your first stitch marker. Let me bring that out a minute. So just do your half double crochets all the way across. I'm not going to let you sit here and watch me do that. It's very simple. Half double crochets all the way across. Get to this stitch before your stitch marker. Meet me there and get ready for pattern change because we're going to do some work here and then we're going to attach the rest to the other side. All right, half double crochets all the way across and meet me there once you're done. Alrighty guys, so I asked you to get to just before your stitch marker. I need one more stitch. Yes, one more stitch just before my stitch marker right there. Alright, so what we're going to do with these 3 stitches is we're going to do 3 stitches together. Now that may sound confusing, but don't stress too much about it, all right? So take these 3 stitch markers out. You don't need them anymore because we're going to work across these 3 stitches. Okay, it's called half double crochet 3 together, all right? Yarn over your hook. You need to, when you do this stitch here, not do it so tight, okay? So you got your yarn over your hook, you pop your hook in the first stitch, pull up a loop nice and tall. You should have 3 loops on your hook, okay? So yarn over your hook, you're going to pop into the second stitch, hook in that second stitch without missing it. Pull a loop through. Well, that didn't work. Let's try it again. Pull a loop through, nice and tall. You should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yarn over your hook, go into the third and final stitch, pull a loop through. Nice and tall, yeah, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The reason I wanted you to keep it nice and tall is because when you pop your yarn over your hook and pull it through all the loops, it could get a little tight for you to do and you could end up losing your stitch. All right, so yarn over, pull through all of the loops on your hook. Yarn over your hook, you can tighten it a little bit. You're going to go, you're in this stitch right here, you're going to go into the very next stitch with a half double crochet. What we're going to do now is start closing up the back of our hoodie. So just lift that loop. This is the stitch that you just created, yeah? You want to ignore it and you want to go into the stitch just before it, pop the yarn over your hook and pull it through like so. Yarn over your hook, ignore the stitch you are in, go right over to the very next stitch. Mine are a little bit tight, but they're there. It's right there. Oh, it's very tight. Pop your hook in, pull a loop through, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops on your hook, lift up your loop. Now you go right over here. That is the stitch you are in. You go right over to the very next stitch. Pop the loop on your hook, just give it a tug and then pull it through like so. It's slip stitching across. As you're doing half double crochets across here, you are slip stitching in here. So yarn over your hook into the very next stitch. You're already in there. You want to go into the next. Pull a loop through, 3 loops, yarn over, pull through all 3. Lift up your loop, go over here. You are in that stitch there. You want to go right over to the very next one. See how you're already in that one? You go over to the next one, pop the hook, the loop on your hook and pull your loop through like so. And that is pretty much it all the way across. It's a little tricky. Now, I'm going to slip stitch into the very next one and I'm going to show you what you can do if you don't like doing this stitch. All right, so let's have a quick look. You're going across, you don't like doing this stitch, you just think it's a little awkward and weird. What you could have done was just do half double crochets all the way in the round, get to here, do your 2 half double crochets there. When we get there, we'll talk about that. And then you need to just sew along your piece with a sewing needle and thread. All right, you can use the same thread to do that. But I like this join. It kind of closes it up and makes it look gorgeous. All right, now you don't have to do this one if you don't want. I do like this one. All right, but in the meantime, let me show you a few more and then you're going to head off on your own and complete the rest. So now you're doing You're skipping that stitch because you're in there already. You're jumping right into the very next stitch with your half double crochet. Lift up your loop. I'm going to bring it out so it's out of the way. That's the stitch you are in. Yeah, go right into the very next stitch. Loop, pull through. Yarn over. You're in this stitch, go into your next. Try not to miss any or you'll be short at the end of the row. Loop up. You're in that one, go into the next one. Oh, you know, let's do this nice and close. And I've just pulled my thread there. Can you believe that? All right, so you are in that one and you're going into the very next one. That's better. You can see what I'm doing now, yeah? You're in that one. You're going to do your half double crochet into the very next one. Loop up. Go over here. You're in that one. Go over there. And just pull it through like so. All right? I don't think I need to show you anymore, but if you want to keep watching, just go back a couple of minutes and go back to maybe the second or third one there and just keep rewatching the video. All right? I'm going to do my next half double because I don't want to leave it like this. The other thing is with this stitch, you've got to be very careful. If you lose a loop, it will take it all undone. Okay? So make sure you don't lose that loop. So what you do, if you need to stop for any number of reasons, just pop your stitch marker in there and you can move away and it won't come undone. All right, so your job now, because I don't want you to sit here and watch me do it, is to do exactly that. Half double crochets into your stitch on this side, lift up the loop, find the stitch on the next side and pull the loop through. All right, remember to be careful not to go into the same stitch. When you get to your second or third last stitch, it'll look like it won't marry up, but it will. So just wait for me there and we'll talk about what we're going to do next. So get to maybe your second last stitch there and I'll meet you back here once you've completed the row. All right, go ahead and do that now and I'll meet you back here once you're done. Alrighty guys, so I asked you to get to the end of the row and I said it's not going to marry up here. That is normal, don't panic. Yeah. So what we're going to do to marry it up is we're going to pop our half double crochet into the second last stitch, pull up your loop like normal and go into the next stitch like normal. Now if yours married up, that's okay. Then we're going to go into that very last stitch there, pull through into the next stitch there. However, the way it looks here is we've got that knot. We want to go into that knot right there, like so, okay? We don't want to miss that knot or it will be short here. So pull up your loop, go into the next loop, or the second last stitch, I should say, and pull it through. And in the same knot, you're going to pop a second half double crochet, like so. Pull up your loop, go into the next stitch and pull that through like so. Pulling up your loop, hold it there for one moment. And have a look at your piece. As long as everything marries up here, you are okay. All right, so here's where it can get a little tricky, all right? We are going to do a third stitch in there, and I'll show you close up. So in the same stitch you are in, you're going to pop a third one like that and pull up that loop, take out your stitch marker and you're going to close that area up, okay? Chain one. Now what you're going to do here is you're going to do the same thing we did on this side, you're going to do this side, all right? But you've got a whole lot of tails here. All right, so now you're going to pop a half double crochet in that stitch before your ridge. All right, so pop your half double crochet in there, pull a loop through. Before you continue, make sure your tails are out of your way and just keep them forward. Normally I put them at the back, but this is the wrong side of our work. We're going to talk about that in a minute. So you're going to complete your half double crochet there. Keep your blue tail out the way for a minute. Yarn over your hook, and there's the ridge from the blue. you're going to pop your hook in, but before you do, just bring that tail forward, the cream forward, pop your hook into the stitch, pull a loop through, 3 loops, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. You know how to do the half doubles. Now we're doing this a different way because we're on the opposite side. So you want 2 stitches across that way and 1 into the ridge. But remember these little tails here that I said we're going to be covering up? There we go. We've covered it. So you don't have to worry about the carry up. That's your first stitch. Your second stitch is here. And there's your ridge. Before you do the ridge, just pass that cream forward and out the way. And you're going to pop your stitch in the ridge right there. Yeah. And then you're going to continue across. 2 across, 1 into the ridge, or we'll do the last 2 now. 1 and 2, and then start properly. 1 into the ridge, 2 across. 1 and 2. 1 into the ridge, 2 across. 1 and 2. 1 into the ridge and 2 across. Where am I? Am I in the ridge? Yes, 2 across. 1 and 2. And 1 into the ridge and 2 across. Now be careful, we're coming across more tails again. And what you're going to do with the tails are very simple. 1 into the stitch, 1 into the next stitch where the tail is, or you can push the tail forward. I find it's better to just get into the stitch first because this tail's a little awkward, and then just push it forward. All of the cream tails are a little bit awkward, and then you go into the ridge and just bring that tail across for a minute. Into the stitch 1 and into the stitch 2 and into your ridge, and then we go 1 and 2, ridge, 1 and 2. Oh, keep splitting my yarn today. You know why? It's right at the end. So I'm pretty sure I messed with it when I was winding it up. That's the second one. And then there's 1 into the ridge and across. All right, I'm not going to sit here and let you watch me do this. We're going to pop this on fast, and I want you to get to your stitch marker right there. All right, so off we go doing that now. What have I done? 1 in the ridge, 1 there, and 1 into the stitch before, and 1 into the ridge, and off we go. All right, so here I am right here. I've got 1 more to go into that ridge before the cream, but the cream is just there, so I'm going to pass it forward so we don't leave it at the front. Okay, so go into the ridge and then 1 into the stitch. I'm going to keep that cream there. 1 into the next stitch. Then you've got your ridge right here, and you can see it there, 1 there. And remember what we did before? We just popped 1 in that stitch, and then we're going to do a second one. Now, remove that stitch marker for a minute. And what you have done right now, and I want to show you this so you understand what we're going to do now, is you're going to just pull up a loop for a minute, pop your stitch marker in there for a second, All right. And you're going to turn your work on the outside. Okay, now remember before that stitching that you saw right there, look how nice it looks on the inside. Yeah, this is now classified as the right side of your work. So go back to the piece that you had now, because now we're working on the right side, so we don't have any tails. All tails should now be on the inside. I have 2 over there, I think, or on the back somewhere. That's got to go on the inside. I messed that up earlier. Don't worry about that. But you probably did. But anyway, so there's your right side of your work. We're now working along the stitches that we just made. Alrighty guys, we just had a little bit of a technical issue with the video there. So what I've done is I've done a little gauge swatch to continue. So all you need to do now is chain 3. So yarn over your hook, pull a loop through once, twice and 3 times. Pop your stitch marker in that top chain, like so. Gorgeous. And now what we're going to start doing is double crochets across here. All right, but we're going to pop a double crochet in the first stitch, and that's double crochet US treble UK. So yarn over your hook, you're going to pop a double crochet in the same stitch that you are in. Now a double crochet is the yarn over your hook into the stitch, pull a loop through. You've got 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through the first 2, 2 loops left, yarn over, pull through the last 2. And that's a double crochet US treble UK. Yarn over your hook into the next stitch, and where you're going is there. You're not going up this way. You're going, face your work towards you, you're going into the whole stitch. So double crochet, like so. Yarn over your hook into the stitch, pull a loop through, 3 loops, yarn over, pull through 2, 2 loops, yarn over, pull through the last 2, and off you go, doing that in every stitch until we get to that stitch marker. Yeah, it's gorgeous, yeah? Now, it will change the pattern a little bit. That is normal, okay? Absolutely normal. And just do that now. Gorgeous. Okay, so I'm not going to sit here and let you watch me do this. I'm already going fast as it is. So go ahead and do your double crochets all the way across, get to that stitch marker right there, or roughly near the cream, the second cream. You've got your third cream. Double crochets all the way across until you get to your 3rd cream set. Oh, and for those of you who didn't change colours, okay, that's another thing. You didn't change colours, just grab your hand, 4 fingers up, pop a stitch marker there. Okay, don't fuss too much about it yet, just pop a stitch marker there, and we'll talk about that once we get there. I forgot about you guys. So off we go doing our doubles all the way across. Oh guys, I'm going to stop there for a minute only because I've run out of thread. So I'm going to change my thread real quickly. Alright, so give me one moment. Awfully sorry about that guys. I'm going to do my next double and change into my new thread. So start my double like so, drop the tail, add my new thread. This is how I change colours in the middle of a row, which I don't like doing. Okay, but you know, that's part of it all. Part of it all. All right, so I'm going to do my double into the next and pretend like that never happened. Gorgeous. Okay, and double into the next, and it was right close to where we were going to do our half doubles. All right, so once again we're here. That's the stitch marker, and I'll talk about that in a minute. All right, so for those of you who didn't change your colour, I did 38 double crochets across. So just make sure you've got 38 double crochets across right now, okay? And then remove your stitch marker, everyone. Make sure you've got 38 double crochets across plus your chain 3 here, yeah? All right, so now we're going to start with the half doubles. So what we're going to do here with the half doubles is we're going to do 10 half doubles all the way across. So you know that we were doing them before, half double crochet US, half treble UK, go into the next stitch and half double 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Hold it there for a minute. I forgot to mention earlier. Remember that section where we did a chain 1 at the center right there? Maybe if you just find your center and just see that big gap there. All right. What I want you to do is single crochets all the way across to there. Now a single crochet is this. Single crochet US, double UK. Okay, so you go pop your hook in. Okay, so no yarn over. Pop your hook in a stitch, pull a loop through, 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2. Do a second one. A third. Keep doing them. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Now this is a little awkward because this is where our little weird stitch markings are. So you go 13 there. That is the seam line. This is the chain. So it's going to go into that stitch. 14. 15. Stop there for a minute, only because I want you to do exactly the same with the other side. So you're going to do the same as what you've done here. So flip your work. You're going to count your 38 stitches along here and pop your stitch marker. All right, so you go from this stitch marker here, you go 1, 2, 3, there's your stitch marker, and you're going to count from the stitch marker, sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37 and 38. So roughly around there. So start it at that stitch right there. See where the white one was, or the cream was. We're going to do our single crochets until I tell you when to stop. No, we'll do this now. You've done your 38 there, yeah? I would actually start my half double 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, so you're going to continue your single crochets wherever you are here, all the way across until you get to that stitch marker. I hope that made sense. It was 38 from there, yeah, and it was half doubles from there to there, 10 from there to there. Now don't stress if it's one little stitch short, it is not going to make a difference at this point, all right? So don't stress too much about that. But in the meantime, you are doing your singles all the way across until you get to your stitch marker. So once you get to your stitch marker, you stop doing singles. You start doing half doubles. Yarn over your hook, into the stitch, pull a loop through, 3 loops, yarn over, pull through all 3. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Stop what you're doing, and guess what? The rest is easy. Double crochet all the way until you get to your stitch marker. All right, so I'm going to let you do that real quickly now. Double crochet, which is yarn over your hook into the stitch, pull a loop through, 3 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through the last 2, into the next stitch, pull a loop through, 3, yarn over, 2, yarn over, 2, and so on all the way across. I'm not going to sit here and let you watch me do this. I think what we'll do is we'll get you to do this off air. Do your double crochets all the way across, get to your stitch marker right there, wait for me there once you're done, and we'll talk about what we're going to do next. Alrighty guys, so here we are at the end of the row, okay, and I have 1 double crochet left and another double crochet in the stitch with your stitch marker. Remove your stitch marker for a minute. You're going to add a second double crochet, because if you remember here at the beginning there we did a chain 3 and a double crochet. Well, your chain 3 acts as a double crochet, so you've got 2 double crochets in the beginning. We're going to do that 2 double at the end. We're going to do that in every round now, or every row if you will. 2 in the beginning and 2 at the end, because we want to elongate that section a little bit, make it longer. All right, don't worry about that for now. All you have to worry about doing simply is this. Turn your work. Oh, did we chain? I'm sorry, chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Pop your stitch marker in and then turn your work. Gorgeous. Turn your work and do your double crochet in the same stitch you are in. You're here, double crochet in the same stitch right there, and then a double crochet in your next stitch. So what we did before, we did 38 stitches across. What you're going to do now is 20 stitches across, okay, and then the rest will be half double crochets until we get to, and we'll do it right now. We'll just put them both together until we get to, see that white section there, roughly around the base, and that's where we'll start doing single crochets. So your doubles, and this is how casual this pattern is, yeah, your doubles will go 20 stitches across. We'll do that now, wherever it is. What's over here? I'm sorry, that stitch marker should be down there, right before the cream on that side, because we're working on that side at the moment. So you can pop them on both sides, it's not going to hurt. In fact, it's probably wise to do them on both sides. So double crochet, what did I say? 20 across. So we've done 1, 2, and 3. The chains will act as double crochets in this row. What did I say? 1, 2, 3, and 4. This is the 4th one. And then we go 5, and we're going to do 20. So go ahead and do 20. I'll pop it on fast, and meet me here once you've finished your 20. And off we go. And 20. All right, so you're here. Now you're going to do half double crochets all the way across until you get to the very last set of creams, and it's a rough measurement, all sizes rough measurement. And off we go, half double crochet, and you know your half double, yarn over your hook into the stitch, pull a loop through, 3 loops, yarn over, pull through all 3. You know it. You've been doing those throughout the whole of your piece. Half double crochets until you get to your stitch markers. I'm sorry guys, I keep forgetting. For those of you who don't have the cream here, just straighten up your work, and it's half double crochets the last 2 fingers worth. Again, there's no count for this section here. We just want to make that a little tighter, yeah? So half double crochets, get to that stitch marker or 2 fingers before the end of your work. Meet me there once you're done. I'm going to let you do this on your own, and we'll talk about what we're going to do next. All right, half double crochets, get to that section right there, and I'll meet you back here once you're done. Alrighty guys, so I asked you to get to the first stitch marker or to, a couple of fingers before your ending. There's no right or wrong way, like I said, to do this part. So really all you're doing is the same thing you did before. You're doing your single crochets for around 2 fingers before you finish your set there, or you just get to the end of this cream right there, which we're going to do together. And this is single crochet US, double crochet UK, into the stitch, pull a loop through, 2 loops, yarn over, pull through, and so on all the way across. Alright guys, I just popped that on fast real quickly. So there's a second last stitch there. And once again, there's no right or wrong way of doing this section. I keep saying that because it's true. If you've gone one over, one before, it doesn't matter, all right? So now what we're going to do, once again, we're going to do our half double crochets. But remember before we did 20 across on the other side? So you're going to do that. You're going to count 20. You go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Pop your stitch marker in there. Again, one before, one after. It doesn't matter. Okay, no right or wrongs. So what you want to do is do your half double crochets all the way across. Get to that stitch marker there. I'll show you what we're doing so you know. Okay, half double in your next. Half double is yarn over your hook into the stitch. Pull a loop through, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops, half double US, half treble UK, and off you go, continuing that stitch all the way across. That's going to take me a while. I'm going to let you do that off air. Get to that stitch marker right there. Meet me there once you're done, and we'll talk about what we're going to do next. Alrighty guys, so I asked you to do your half doubles all the way across until you get to your stitch marker. Again, these are rough counts. Don't stress too much about them, alright? And we're just going to do double crochets all the way across. So yarn over your hook, pop your hook in the stitch, pull a loop through, 3 loops, yarn over, pull through 2, 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2. Double crochet US, treble UK, and off you go doing that all the way across your piece until you get to that stitch marker. I'm going to pop this video on fast for you, and I will meet you there once you're done, and off we go. Alrighty guys, here I am at the end of the row, and right here I am literally 2 stitches away. Let's get a close up a little so you can see. So yarn over and just pop your hook into the second last stitch with your double crochet. Pop a double crochet into the stitch with your stitch marker. If it's a little tight, you can take it undone. I think I've split my stitch, so I'm going to take it undone. So pop a double crochet into the stitch with your stitch marker. 1. And then you have a second one in there. Yeah. Chain 1, 2, 3. Stitch marker in. All right, just going to lift up that loop for a minute. I'm going to pop a stitch marker in there as well, because I'm going to give you some instructions for this row, okay? So what I want you to do is very simple. You know that, let's bring that out a bit. You know that what you've been doing, let's get rid of all these tails because it's only going to confuse you. What you've been doing is doubles, half doubles, and singles. You're going to continue to do that. And this is all sizes, yeah? I want you to count 10 stitches across. So you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yep, pop stitch marker in there. Count 20 stitches across here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Flip your work. Yeah, do exactly the same. Count. What do we say? 10 stitches across there. I forgot count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Do it this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Pop your stitch marker in. Whoops. There. And 20 across this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. There. All right. So what you're going to do simply is this. There's your stitch. Let's try that again. There's your stitch. You're going to do 10 double crochets across here, 20 half doubles, the rest single, until you get to this stitch marker. And then you do 20 half doubles and 10 doubles. All right, so I'm going to leave those instructions for you to do. Okay, this is all sizes do that now. Okay, so all sizes do exactly that. 10 double crochets, 20 half double, single all the way around. Get to that stitch marker and do your 20 half doubles and 10 doubles. You're going to complete that row and meet me back here once you're done. Alrighty guys, so here we are at the end of this round. Very exciting. So all we need to do is the same thing we've been doing all along, is just popping 2 double crochets in that very last stitch. Have I split it? No, that's okay, good. 2 double crochets in the last stitch, 1 and 2, right there. Gorgeous. Okay, and your job now, and this is the easy job, this is the job where your size comes in. You will not believe it. All you need to do simply is this. Extra small to 2 extra large, you need to do 2 rounds of single crochet. We'll talk about that in a minute. 3 extra large to 5 extra large, you need to do 4 rounds of single crochet. Very, very simple. All right, so let's start. All right, flip your work. And this is all you need to do, okay? All right, so your single crochet starts in the very first stitch that you see. Hook in, pull a loop through, 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through both those loops, pop your stitch marker right there, okay? And you're putting a second single crochet in there, like so. And then you're doing single crochets into every stitch all the way across. It's super duper easy. I don't need to show you. I think you know what you're doing, and you're going to do that. And you're going to do, and that's very simple, you're going to do 2 rows of single crochet and then meet me back here and we'll talk about what we're going to do next. If you are extra small to 2 extra large, if you are 3 extra large to 5 extra large, you guys do 4 rows, and that is all it is for now. When we come back here, we'll work on the straps and get ready to complete our gorgeous hoodie. All right, do your rows that you need to do for your size, and I'll meet you back here once you're done. Alrighty guys, here we are at the end of our 2 rows for extra small to 2 extra large, or 4 rows for 3 extra large to 5 extra large. Now we're going to finalise our piece by adding 1 single crochet in the last stitch, and of course your second single crochet, and then you remove your stitch marker. Very simple finalising. Pull a loop through like so, cut your work. So long as you're happy with the length, it should be suitable for all sizes. Now know that this is, let me open this up a little so you know what you're doing. This is the top of your beanie where your forehead is. Okay, that seam line right there is where your forehead is. That is the front. And right now we're going to add some crochet tassels, all right? But for now, first thing I do need you to do actually, and I've done most of mine off air already because I didn't want to waste your time, but real quickly grab your sewing needle, like so, and thread it. And what we're going to do, it's the very first side that we started on this last row, and we're just going to weave in those cream. Now you would have them all along here, but I'm only going to show you two, and then you can do the rest on your own, all right? So all you need to do, this thread here, as you can see, is actually under some of the blue. So for the top one first, we're just going to pass our sewing needle through a bit of thread, okay? Let's do this so you can see exactly what I'm doing there. All right, a little bit of thread like so. And I pulled that through, that's no good. And I probably should have checked the front, sorry. We'll do that again in a minute. All right. Then you're going to pass it through another bit of thread. I'm going to go up the stitch there. Just check the front. If you can see the needle, then you have to take your needle out and do it again. All right, because you don't want the needle to be showing. All right, just pull the thread through very gently. Don't pull too tight. And then you're going to work in these stitches or threads that you see down here. You can do it any way you like. I find just splitting a bit of the threads like so, maybe a little bit more splitting there, so you can see a bit of the needle but you can't see the needle from the front, and I find that is the best way to do it. And then you just keep going across, splitting some threads as you go. Yeah, constantly checking the front. Gorgeous, no thread, no needle showing there. So let's just continue all the way along, turn and come back, and then you're done. All right, and off we go. I'll pop this on fast. All right, once you're here, just if you want to be more secure, I would go back a few more stitches, or you can even drop it down a little bit, but I'm just going to go back a few more stitches like so, all the way through. And again, just checking the front. I keep forgetting to check the front myself actually, but there you go. And that's it for me for this thread. Okay, all right, so what we're going to do now real quickly is just the other thread. Now the reason I want to show you this one is because it's been crocheted over some of the blue. So if you were to go back in that direction, as I would normally do, you could accidentally bring the cream through here. It doesn't matter in this case because it looks, with the yarn dyed yarn, it looks like that's done on purpose. So if you accidentally went through by one stitch, it won't be noticeable. But yours truly, you know, I'm very fussy, as you do, right? So we are going to pop that sewing needle through any of the blue yarn right there and just turn it around. Make sure you can't see the needle, really important. So let's pop that through like so. And what we're going to do is raise this cream up the top to the cream. So you just want to go through the actual top of the cream of the next stitch right there. And I forgot to check the front, but that's okay. Make sure you check the front, guys. She just forgets because she's so used to doing it that she forgets. And then you're just going to go through all of the cream threads that you see at the back there. Check the front. Gorgeous. And cut your thread. So easy. All right, so now what we're going to do is we are going to create our tassels. But before we do, I want you to head off on your own, weave in all of your ends in there, meet me back here, and then we'll create the tassels. Alrighty guys, so once you have weaved in all your ends, this is the end that I just weaved in as well. I weaved in my last tail that we did. This is the right side of our work that we've been working on, and as you can see I've already done one tail already. Yours might be a little bit longer because I did mine a bit short and realised it was way too short, so yours might be a little bit longer. But what I want you to do is cut 3 threads, 2 blues and 1 cream, and the length is 165 centimetres or 65 inches. Okay, as close to that as you can get. If you want yours a little longer, like this one here is 163 inches, let's try that again, 163 centimetres. So this one's a little bit smaller, but if you want yours longer, then you can make yours longer. All right, so then what you need to do is, once you get your 3 strands cut, that's 2 blues and 1 cream, if you want it looking like that. If you wanted to do yours in cream, just do 3 threads. So whatever colours you want, make sure you've got 3 threads, 165 centimetres each or 65 inches each. All right, so whatever colours you want yours to be. Then you grab the 2 tail ends and you try and keep it as straight as you can, like so, and just hold it there for a minute. Grab your piece. That's the right side of our work, yeah? We want to pop our hook. Just use your 4mm hook for a minute because it's going to be fairly tight here with the tail. Just pop your hook in. Don't worry if there's a little bit of a knot there, okay? That's going to be non-visible once we do this. Pop your 3 threads over your hook and pull all 3 threads through if you can, making a big loop so that you can grab the next hook size, which is a 5mm hook. Pop it in the loops and you're good to go. From here, we are going to create 16 stitches. It's 15 stitches and 16 as the last one to close up your piece. All right, so it's yarn over your hook, being careful, you've got a lot of loops here, pull through the loop once. And for me, I found real quickly, let's just show you, I found that if I didn't do it too tight with this dyed yarn, I had a little bit of loops sticking out here. All right, so just make sure it's all even before you do the next chain. All right, so that's all we're doing, chains. That's chain 1, yarn over your hook, pull a loop through, chain 2, and it's going to be awkward and tight because there's a lot of strands there, yeah. Chain 3, awkward and tight, like I said, and this might happen. You might miss a loop, so be careful. Make sure all the loops are on your hook, yeah. And if you're not sure, just give it a gentle tug, and if one moves out, you'll have to take that stitch undone and start again. So what did I say? 1, 2, and 3. We're going to go right up to 15. I'm going to pop this on fast because it's going to be awkward for me. I had a few problems doing this one, but I'll pop it on fast, and off we go. 4, 15, okay, and now I'm up to my 16th stitch. It's really awkward now, everything's so tight here, so we're just going to try and pull our 16th stitch through, and when you do that, you pull all your threads through at once. All right, before you see I've got my loop sticking there, I'll just give it a tug and it'll all fall into place eventually, but know that that can happen, okay? So when you've done that, and you know you've done it, it's all complete right there, just put both your tassels, if you want to call them, I call them plaited tassels, together, and just even them up and cut them exactly the same lengths. I cut mine a little bit bigger on one side first just to see if it's the same. And can you believe it? Just the same. All right, so put yours together. Yours would have been 2 together. Don't cut them until you finish your second side. And when you finish your second side, you can cut them both together. All right, I just cut mine earlier because I just wanted to show you what it looked like, but it didn't matter. And there you have it. Once again, a very special thank you to the lovely Maximoo Yarns for his yarns, and an extra special thank you to one of our subscribers, Jeremy, who chose this colour combination today. How exciting is this? If you wanted to be a part of Live Antics and choose the colour combination of our very next tutorial, don't forget to join us on our lives at 10 a.m. Saturday mornings, Melbourne, Australia time, where you as a subscriber gets to choose the colour combination of our next tutorial. It is way too exciting. All right. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Mary and this is Wow Crochet Designs. Ciao for now.